Hello, today I'm going to show you what to sow in September. I'm Liz Zorab and this is By the Farm. Although spring is our main seed sowing time, there are still crops that can be sown now. I've been having a look in my gardening journal to have a look at what seeds can I sow in September. This week in the news I've seen that there are likely to be shortages of some vegetables because of the recent weather, the very hot dry periods followed by the wind and very rainy periods. So that has had an impact on things like cauliflowers. So I thought I would plant some cauliflowers. Now obviously these won't be ready for a good while yet. They'll be ready to harvest from June onwards. But still, there is plenty of time to get these in. This is a variety called All the Year Round. There are several varieties that you can sow in September, October. So I'm going to get these in under the netting, and then hopefully we'll have a crop to follow on from the purple sprouting broccoli and the last of the leeks towards the end of that hungry gap. And another brassica that I'm going to sow is a spring cabbage. This is a variety called Winter Green. Sow it now, there's just time in the next week or so, and then that will grow on during the autumn, and it'll be ready to harvest because of this quite late sowing from the end of February to March onwards. You can also sow onions at this time of year. So this one is a spring onion. You could call it a scallion, a green onion, a leaf onion. There's a whole load of names for it. This one is a variety called GUARDSMAN. This should quietly grow away during the winter and be ready to harvest in the spring. The other onion that I'm going to sow is Sensu Yellow. Now I haven't grown onions from seed before. I've always used sets, and I will use sets as well this year, but I'm going to give these a go. So you plant the seeds now, and then in the spring, in around March, you thin them out and you use the thinnings like spring onions, and then you leave about 6 inches between them and leave them to grow on. One thing to note about autumn sown onions is that you'll need to use them first because they won't keep as long as those sown in the spring. I'm sitting here amongst the runner beans and enjoying the number of bees that are visiting the flowers. Hopefully that means that we'll get a really good crop. It's also an ideal time to sow red chicories. These give a sharp, almost bitter crunch to your salad and to your food when they get going. They're very pretty, they're very attractive. Now I've got two different varieties. One is, and excuse my Italian, Rossa di Verona a Pala, and the other one is Rossa di Treviso number 4. September sowings of chicory are likely to be ready from January onwards. I'm going to try both these varieties and see which one I like the best. Come on boys, off we go. It's not an all-you-can-eat buffet, go on. Yes, good chaps. Go on then. Thank you. Off you go. And just as I did last month, you can still plant some beetroots. Georgia is fine to be sown this month and next month. I'm also going to sow some golden burpees. What do you think, Bee? Because although the packet says sow until July, I sowed seeds quite late last year, and I had small beets very early in the year, and that was really nice. And there are plenty of salad leaves that can still be sown at this time of year. So lamb's lettuce or corn lettuce, depending on what you call it. Red mustard. I particularly like one called Oriental Ruby Streaks, which has a very feathery leaf, and I like the flavour of it. It almost has a caramelised flavour to start with, and then as you chew it, you start getting that mustardy flavour, but it's almost got a sweet tone to it to start with. And the bigger the leaves get, the hotter it gets in terms of mustard flavour. But if you pick the leaves when they're still quite small, they are really lovely. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up or leave a comment. And if you're not enjoying it, let me know why. And spinach can be sown now. Spinach prefers the slightly cooler temperatures. I don't find it does very well in the summer here, it's just too warm for it. But at this time of year, it should grow really well throughout the autumn and winter. Likewise, you can still sow some chard now, and that will also give you a nice leafy green throughout the winter. And one last thought, if you have an indoor growing space, a polytunnel, a greenhouse, a porch even, you can put in potatoes now into pots, maybe 2 or 3 into a large pot, bring them in when the frosts threaten, keep them under cover, and hopefully you can have new potatoes for Christmas.